Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. It's another paid request, this time for Guillermo. Thank you so much for that, man. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 2015 film Howl, which is pretty much werewolves with a train. Now, I have seen this film before. I remember not being that impressed. So watch it again. I wanted to see, well, number one, because it's a paid request, and number two, curious to see if my opinion changed. Not really. I mean, it's directed by an effects guy, Paul Hyett. I believe he worked on effects on films like Dog Soldiers, but the effects in these, from time to time, they're CGI. Definitely more than, say, there was in Dog Soldiers, which Neil Marshall directed. And the look of the werewolves, I'm not really a fan of. I get that it looks a bit different, but it just looks a bit goofy to me in this movie. And there are times where I swear you just see the legs and it looked like CGI. Maybe it wasn't, but maybe it was the way it was filmed, but it looked like it. And the whole thing's not CG. I mean, there are times, but I don't know, even with the practical, just the design threw me off. But anyway, the story of the film is you have this train conductor played by Ed Speleers, which I thought he did a fairly decent job. You could tell he's a guy that's drifting through life, and he's supposed to be out of work. His shift is done, but his boss screws him over and gives him another job on this passenger train. So he takes it because he didn't really stand up for himself. Also, on that train is a girl that serves the tea, and he has a crush on her. So he decides to do it, and you do feel sympathy for the character because he's just doing his job, checking tickets, and the way some of the customers behave. Either they don't have their ticket, and he's like, "Listen, if you don't have a ticket, I have to charge you," and she gets pissy about it. Or you have a girl on the phone, teeny bopper. Actually, she talked to someone, and she won't even pay attention to the guy, and gets annoyed easily. So very bitchy. Yeah, this one guy just stuffing food everywhere into his gullet. You have this quiet guy that, again, doesn't pay him any mind, just does this. So either, again, people being indifferent or bitchy or just not giving him the time of day. So he checks the tickets, he sits back, he relaxes, and then he wakes up because there's been a bit of a crash. You find out that the driver had hit a deer stuck under the train. The driver's played by Shauna Pertwee, who was the commanding. He was the guy in Dog Soldiers leading our group of lead characters. He's the one that got his stomach cut. And there's that scene was like, sausages, they won't fit. They won't fucking fit. I tell you, I love that movie. Much better than this one. Sadly, Shauna Pertwee, who's a good actor, he's not in the film much. He's in it long enough to get killed. Where you pretty much see the werewolf's legs and his legs, and you see some blood splat. And then it takes a bit of time before the next werewolf attack happens, and like I said, I don't mind the lead guy. The other people, there's really not much in terms of development, or in fact, a lot of them I found really annoying or stupid. It's kind of like the characters in Daylight with Sylvester Stallone, although I like the film a lot more because superficially the effects and the bigger budget helped a lot, the setting, and of course I'm a big Stallone fan, so him being the star really helped that as well. But here, you have an old couple who made some questionable decisions later on. You have this annoying teeny bopper. Like I said, the one with the phone, the bitchy girl. Yeah, the girl that didn't have her ticket had to pay. She's also a little bit of a bitch. You have this smaller guy with glasses. You have this mysterious guy who you can kind of tell will be our human villain. Just a lot of times you have your creature villain, you have your human villain. This is your human villain. A guy who has a family life, but in the city life he has mistresses and ladies. And he has the line, "We do what we do to survive." So, in other words, he's going to screw people over to try to save his own sorry ass. So you do definitely see that coming. The only other character I could kind of deal with was the tea lady. But again, there's really nothing you know about her other than she served tea, she seems like a nice lady, and again, the lead guy has a crush on her. But actress didn't do a bad job. The overweight guy, he was a lot, I guess, lot passed out, whatever, in the bathroom. He gets out. One leads to another. They think they don't. They decide to get out of the train. They hear something. They get back on the train, but the old lady gets her leg grabbed as the doors are closing, and she gets lifted up, pulled back. She's been bitten, so you know what's going to happen to her. And it'll take the characters a long time to figure that out because they don't know they're in a werewolf movie, while we do. And let me get to the werewolves. When you do see them, like the first one that we see full on, because he kills the overweight guy in a different bathroom, which I didn't mind the way it was shot, where you just see the indentations from the outside as someone's like trying to punch and press out, and then you see blood coming out. I didn't mind that. So yeah, your mind imagines more than what you're seeing. And the indentations of the bathroom door shows the power that the creature has. But we see, it looked like Joe Perry from Aerosmith. Like that's what it looked like, with the hair, or it'd be someone from the Lost Boys with the long hair. But I just did the Joe Perry. I'm like, where's Steven Tyler? Love in an elevator. So, like, if Joe Perry was a Bigfoot, that's what kind of remind me of. It honestly kind of remind me a little bit of the Bigfoot in Abominable, but I thought that looked a lot better and a lot more practical. I don't know, it's a different design. It's a werewolf that looks more human than other movies. Because then you see the long hair, little patches of hair, but you mainly also see skin. You see his face and the teeth, and then some werewolves, they kind of look like Gollum, like a little overgrown version of Gollum. Like that's the thing that came to mind. And then of course that old lady, she later turns, and she has pretty much just her teeth and eyes. I mean, that could have been like a vampire. It could have been a demon. Nothing about that seemed like called out werewolf. So it just, like I said, I didn't really care for the look. I didn't really care for the design. I guess that's just me. Like I said, when I first saw Joe Perry, yeah, it looked like Joe Perry to me if he was a fucking Bigfoot. I did laugh. And the group get together, they kill it. They hear howling, so more's going to be coming, but they kill it. Apparently you don't need silver, so, I mean, they don't really have any rules for the werewolves in this. It's just you can kill it. Although, really, that's the only one that gets killed. So it's not even the satisfaction of an action where these group of people, and it's a siege movie, so some get killed, but then they kill this werewolf, they kill that. No, that's really the only one they kill. So it's not a lot of action. It's not a lot of battles happening. Because after that one bit, some are trying to fix the train. Some are realizing that the old lady has been bitten, and her husband, of course, typical. understandable, and in real life this would happen. But no, get away from her. Even when she's changing and looking like a demon, no, get away with her. Get away from her. I'm gonna beat you up if you get near my wife. I'm like, she looks like a crack whore got bit by a demon. I mean, the check is in the mail, but. And then the womanizer guy, of course, he is the human villain, so he does the asshole thing where the. Not the teeny bopper lady, she gets grabbed fairly early on. She died. She's the second person to die after the driver, Shauna Pertwee. She just pulled out of the window. But the one who didn't have her ticket, she's by the door. The asshole kicks her out of the door. So of course she gets up. There's werewolves. She dies. There's not many people left. The asshole barricades, sets it off so that he can save his own ass. There's one guy that helped fix the train. Well, before that, the guy with the glasses, he... Spoiler, I know I'm just telling the story. Sometimes I do... A lot of times I do that. Spoiler, because to get my mind set on what's happening. Also, if you never want to see the film, then I just tell you the story. That way you don't have to see the film if you don't want to. I just have the tendency of doing that, just how I do things. So, super spoilers. Before I tell the rest of that, the general thoughts on the movie, before I get to the third act, is the ending, I thought was kind of lackluster for reasons I'll get into. The supporting characters, it's not that the acting was bad, it's that the characters didn't really mean much to me. I didn't really care. I didn't really give a rat's ass about these other characters, whether they lived or died. Some aspects had the predictable tropes. Again, the asshole is going to turn on the others for his own selfish needs. A person's bit, so you know that we need to stop her and kill her. No, you cannot do that. Her husband's going to defend her, and that's going to be his undoing. I mean, this is not spoiler on that side, because you know this is coming. Have you seen enough of these movies? It's just there was nothing that creative or unique. It's like the most they got is it's on a train, but it's not even on a, for the most part, a moving train. For the most part, the train is stuck, so it's just they're trapped in these cubicles where there's nowhere else to go. The cinematography when they're outside sections didn't really do much for me. I don't know if it's just they had a lack of budget. I don't know if they used CG Editions filters on the outer rims. I don't know what the whole deal was. It just didn't look that atmospheric. It didn't look that moody. It didn't look that creepy. I think you should maybe, with it, having a train in the middle of nowhere in the woods, if you had maybe some effective lighting to really create a creepy sense, creepy aura. I don't think the movie accomplished that at all. Definitely didn't think it was scary. It's just the whole affair was fairly mundane. A werewolf on a train could be a cool idea, but maybe if it was a movie where the train can't stop, so Unstoppable meets Dog Soldiers, Unstoppable with Denzel Washington, maybe that could work. I don't know. Like I said, maybe that could work. Where you have to deal with stopping the train, but you have to still deal with these werewolves. Neither of them can get off because it would kill them, but you have not a whole lot more to go. Get some hand-to-hand fights and action. Some get turned to werewolves, some get killed. I don't know. Anyway, get into the third act. The guy with the glasses gets with an axe, does stupid decisions. Again, that's another thing. Characters doing stupid decisions. Like, he's trying to help the guy fix the train, but then he hears something and he walks right into the fucking woods with an axe, even though he weighs like a buck 20. Sees the girl that got pulled out of the window earlier get eaten in a tree. Werewolves come across him. And there's a little bit of blood gore, but it's not like crazy over the top gore or anything like that. Let's see, I'm trying to think. I can't really get any death scenes that maybe go, oh shit, nothing of that nature. So by this point on the train, there's the lead, there's the tea lady girl, there's the guy that was helping fix the train, and there's the turncoat, the human villain. And then he barricades and saves his own ass. The guy who helped fix the train, I didn't mind him as well. I didn't mind him. I say he did the little bit of backstories that he was actually going to town to do some training to help deal with trains, fix with trains, and maintenance. I didn't mind that actor. I wish he had a bit more to do. I wish he had a bit more screen time. So him I didn't mind. So him, the lead, and the tea lady. I didn't mind those three people. But there's not much in terms of like memorable dialogue. There's not much in terms of memorable action or kills. This is nothing that memorable about it. I guess if you're a diehard werewolf fan and you want to see every werewolf film, and hey, here's a little difference. It's on a train that's been stopped. But there's nothing really in terms of the rules or unique takes on it. Like I said, I thought the look of the werewolves for me looked goofy. Maybe you will like them a lot better design-wise. Again, to say one last time, it looked like Joe Perry from Aerosmith, that one. And again, the others look like Gollum. Look like overgrown Gollum. So the guy that helped with the train gets some Molotov cocktails, but sadly you don't really get to see him burn a lot of the werewolves. Instead, he just gets killed. Our two leads get out. They make a run for it. The lead guy stays behind while the girl gets to safety. She does get to safety, but the lead guy doesn't even get to like kill any werewolves. He pretty much has his bravado, stabs one a little bit, but then it bites him and kills him. So he doesn't even kill any werewolves. He's not like a self-sacrifice where he does it and blows up all the werewolves. No, it's just he fights a bit, but then he dies fairly quickly, and not even dies. He gets turned to a werewolf. So while the girl is safe, she gets to the next train station. The asshole, the human asshole, is running through the woods, and our lead guy is a werewolf and stops him in his tracks. And off screen we see him die. So the guy who deserves to die the most, you don't even get to see die. You just get off screen sound effects of him dying. So if there's a character you like, it's the lead, and he gets a downbeat ending. But it's not downbeat too much because the other girl lives. The asshole you want to see die, you don't even get to see much of a comeuppance on him. The werewolf designs I thought looked a bit hokey. For an effects guy, I don't know why you would have CG additions. In fact, I think you should do the opposite and try to do whatever you can in-house. The supporting characters, for the most part, were either bitchy, taking the piss out of it, or forgettable. And there's no memorable gore or action. There's very, very, very little action. So that's for me, it just really amounted to not much of anything. That's why I didn't really remember much. And watch it again, now I understand why. And just for me, there's much better werewolf films. Whether it be Dog Soldiers, whether it be Stephen King's Silver Bullet, whether it be Bad Moon, whether it be Full Eclipse with Mario Van Peebles, whether it be, Late Phases. And that's a film where I'm not big on the werewolf designs, but it won me over because I like the story. That's a much more interesting story about this blind war veteran, and I really liked the lead actor, and I thought the way it played out just seemed much more satisfying, much less boring, and that was just a much more interesting story compared to this. So, but yeah, that's my jumbled thoughts on Howl. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye bye.